What's up, you guys? This is Justin from the Baca Project, and I wanted to switch up the scenery today. I know you guys are used to seeing me in the studio or in my office, whatever you want to call it, and it's not as beautiful as this. This is gorgeous. And I want to take a moment to just acknowledge, that God is the creator of all this. His creativity is never ending, and it's incredible. He's an absolute mastermind. He's the master of masterminds, and it's incredible. And the video isn't just talking about God's creation. It's actually a call to young men and young women that are dealing with what's going on. What's the world. Maybe you're afraid of taking a stand against the world, against the government, against the religious world that's going on, against the atheistic world that we have. And you're afraid, you're trembling because of what's happened recently. And I want to encourage you that you need to take a stand. Now, the great prophet and even a lot of the patriarchs of the faith, Abraham, Moses, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, when God called them and he said their name, Abraham, they said a very powerful phrase, "Here I am, Hineni shlachoti." Here I am, send me. And that needs to be the phrase of our life. That was the phrase of Charlie Kirk's life. And it's incredible what that phrase began in his life. He started a ministry that helped the young men and women understand the truth of the conservative movement. And in a lot of ways, revolutionized and changed the conservative movement. For so long, we were more in the Reagan and the Bush era, which was a secular, kind of Christian conservative movement. And he took it to a whole new level. And God using him. And he really embodied a powerful verse that Paul said, and it was, "To live is Christ, to die is gain." And how true is that? I mean, that's supposed to be our life. That's supposed to be what we live for, is to live for Christ and to die. And that is gain. Now you might be thinking, is that okay? Well, I get to go to heaven. That's the gain. Well, let me bring it to this world gain a little bit. So Charlie lived and he got to preach the gospel and got to preach truth to thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe a million or more people. I mean, incredible. But in his death, they had a beautiful memorial service. I'm sure a lot of you saw it. And I watched a Mike Winger video and I appreciate what he said. He said, so often we overlook the goodness of something to focus on the complexity of it. But sometimes we just need to overlook the complexity of it to appreciate the goodness. In this memorial, well over a million, millions of people had the gospel preached to them at one given moment. It was the biggest gospel message, potentially, in all of humankind history. Not a bigger audience had the gospel preached to them than that day. And what an incredible feat for God's glory. Jesus told us when we pray, that we pray, "Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done." Your will be done. And that was Charlie's motivation. That's my motivation. And it needs to be yours too. Is we have to come to the point where we say, "Hineni shlachoti." Here I am, Lord. Send me. And I want to encourage you today that to live is Christ. Live your life every day like this is time, minutes, moments, hours, days, weeks, years that God has gifted you. These are not yours. You're not promised tomorrow. Just like Charlie was not promised to live on September 11th of 2025. He wasn't promised that. In fact, his days, his hours were written before he was even born. That day he was going to pass, regardless of what he did, how he lived. Something was going to happen. That was his final moment. And that wasn't going to change. And I want to encourage you that you have a final moment too. And you don't know when that might be. I don't know when that might be. So we have to live like we may face the judge, the ruler of this universe, the creator of it. That day, today, tomorrow, next week. You never know. They say, live like you're going to die tomorrow. So eat, drink, and be merry. But that's how the pagans, that's how the heathens live their lives. if you're truly a follower of Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, then you need to live like you are going to meet Him. And when you do, and you die, are you going to see Jesus stand up? As it says, He's seated at the right hand of the Father, but Stephen, when he died, Jesus stood up to greet him, to welcome him, and to say these very powerful words. Well done, good and faithful servant. Enter into your rest. Are you going to get that? Now you may. And that's an incredible thing. The grace and mercy of God is amazing. You might walk in, that's great, and you just barely made it. That's fantastic. That's awesome. But how much more if you lived and gave your entire life to the service of Him when that time finally comes and you're sitting there going, I have ran my race, I have finished it, and now you are entering into that rest. If you've rested your whole life, what is that rest going to mean to you? But if you ran your whole life, how much more will that rest be? And I encourage you, as so many people that are evangelists and want to go and talk about Jesus and want to help people understand the truth of the Bible, they always ask one simple question. They say, do you know Jesus? Are you familiar with this person? And I always push back on that. And I encourage you to too. If you feel like you want to speak to someone, that is not the right question. That is the question that's leading up to the right question. You say, do you know Jesus? And they say, yeah, I know Jesus. Cool. He's the most famous person in all of history. Every religion mentioned Him. Every history book acknowledges that Jesus of Nazareth lived on this earth. But if you truly believe He is the Lord of all, the question isn't, do you know Jesus, the most famous person that's ever lived? The question is, does Jesus know you? Because there is going to be that time when you're going to face Jesus Christ. You're going to face the Son of the living God. And He's going to say one of two things. Well done, or be gone from me, I never knew you. It's not you never knew me. It's I never knew you. Do you want those words to be said about you and to you from Lord, the Creator of the universe? If you don't, I encourage you, not just get to know Jesus, but make sure Jesus knows you. That's the most important thing. And how do you do that? You got to be in the Word. You got to be in prayer, saying, God, hear me. Listen to me. And He will. But that prayer can't be finished with listen to me. It's help me to listen to you too. Build that relationship with Jesus, that He may speak through you, that He may use you for His kingdom's glory. And when that time comes, when you finish that race and you get to stand before the judge, when you get to stand and you see Jesus rise to His feet and He says, well done. That is a life well lived. I heard a pastor say yesterday, and he said, a 31-year-old man, a father of two, a husband, dying like that is not a tragedy. The tragedy is a 90-year-old man that never lived for Christ and died of a ripe old age in his sleep. Our perspective on the world should be very different than the world's perspective on life and death. Death is only the beginning to truly living. I encourage you, don't be afraid to speak the truth. Don't be afraid to stand up to power. Don't be afraid. Don't be nervous when speaking to the people that believe in these wild deceptions. Don't be afraid of confronting them. And when they have their arguments, a lot of them are gaslighting and a lot of them are emotional manipulation. Be prepared to stand in truth, because truth is by definition built on solid ground. It will not be shaken. And Jesus Christ Himself said, the acknowledgement of me as the Son of the living God is in which the rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overcome it. If you truly believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, then I need you to know that your belief will not be overtaken by even the gates of hell. Not even death itself can overtake that acknowledgement and that faith. So brothers and sisters, I hope that through this is a blessed encouragement for you, and I hope that watching everything that's going down in the world today is a reminder of how much we need to live for Christ. There's no longer time to waste. This world might just be coming to an end soon. Why are you going to waste your time here on earth? Because you might just die tomorrow. Die for Christ. Don't die for something not worth dying for. I hope you have a blessed day, you guys. Thanks for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe, whatever you feel led to do. It's a huge blessing. It totally helps the channel. And I hope, again, that you guys have a great day. Thank you.